Good afternoon, good evening. What's up, Legacy Life? Hope you guys are doing well. This is the Monday night Legacy Life call, and we put these together to just really help give everyone the resources, the knowledge, the tools, and the training it takes to succeed in this business. And a lot of this business is very much effort. It's very much like a want to type of business. If you want to make it happen, you can absolutely go make it happen. And you don't need to be the most skilled person in order to make a big income here. If you're willing to go out there and put in effort and care about people and go do the steps that we teach. And so we put these together to just help add in the skills for those of you guys that want to go out there and you want to go kick butt and you're already putting in the effort. How can we make these little tweaks and make things even just a little bit better? And some of those little phrases, or it could be a phrase, it could be your demeanor, it could be just like one tip you get on a call like this, that lands you an annuity when you're sitting down with somebody, or gets you a sale when otherwise you wouldn't have gotten a sale. And so really, that's why we put these calls together. And this is our first call of the new year, so happy new year, Legacy Life. And just to give you guys a little bit of how did we do last year? What was last year like? Let me pull something up real quick. I can read it off to you. We had our best year, pretty much by a long shot. Just to give you guys an idea, we had our best year by a long shot. We grew by almost, it wasn't quite 50%. It was like 40 some percent, but we had a massive 2023, and I have zero doubt in my mind that 2024 is going to be even bigger. And so we already have a lot of people off to a fast start this month, or this year, I should say, both, to give you guys a little bit of, where everybody's at here. Let me just pull this up. I'm gonna read you guys the top sales folks for the month so far. We got some people hitting the ground running for sure. So number one this month so far, we've got Tom Payne with over 17,000 in issued business. Number two, we've got Jessica Rasmussen with 3,500 in issued business. Number three, we've got David Helgeson who's on the call, our guest on the call tonight, with $2,300 of issued business. Andre Lee with 2,200. Aaron Wilson with 2,100. Mallory Barnes with 2,100. And after that, we've got Mike Guerra with a little over 900. And like I said, this is our first call of the new year. So last year was fantastic. Last year was great. I hope that you were with us, and I hope that you had the 2023 that you were looking to have. If not, then hit the reset button, and let's go have a massive 2024. And that's why I'm so excited for, our guest tonight. We've been trying to lock him down. He's got a family, he's got commitments, and he's a guy who's going to stick to what he said he's going to do. And so I think we might have booked this back in November, because this is the first Monday he had free. And so we took him up on that, and I'm excited for you guys. Some of you guys have been seeing him on the leaderboards. You've been seeing his name at the top of our top tens. You've been seeing him commenting and adding people to the group, within the Telegram group and things like that. But maybe you haven't had a chance to meet him yet. And I'll tell you that I've known David for over 10 years. And if there's anyone that I just enjoy being in business with, it's David Helgeson for sure. I just enjoy, we think the same way. We have a lot of the same values and opinions, and he's married and he's got a little girl. I've got three boys. He's got Navy, his daughter, who's the cutest thing I think I've ever seen ever. And it's probably a good thing I didn't have a little girl, because I would be wrapped around her finger big time. And we just agree on a lot of these, on a lot of the most important things. And I married Danielle, who was my high school sweetheart. He married Crystal, who was his high school sweetheart. So we have a lot in common. We think similarly, and he's just somebody that I really value. Being able to bounce ideas off and bounce opinions off of. And, he came into this business, last year, got his license, I believe, at the end of January. And I'll kind of let him share, some of his story. But, he's made it into our top 10. There's been a lot of months where he's been the number one producer, and he's absolutely kicking ass. And so, I'm excited for you guys to be able to hear from him and hear some of his story and what is he doing, what works, and how did he kind of go from zero to where he's at now, and then obviously growing even more into the future. So Dr. David Helgeson, are you on here, brother?
Hey Nick, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What is
Cool.
it?
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and hey, Legacy Life, for a lot of us that haven't had the chance to meet yet. Really looking forward to meeting a lot of you in Dallas here in a couple of weeks at the national convention. But yeah, like Nick said, I again really appreciate those kind words, Nick. I think insanely highly of you, and just very grateful to be able to just be a part of what we're doing here at the Alliance, what we're doing with Legacy Life, and I guess I'm not sure across the board there. I'm recognizing a lot of names that are on here, a lot that I don't think we've got a chance to meet. So I think there's people that, and Nick, you can correct me, they're probably relatively new within the last few months. And really what you guys have accomplished in what, not even 3 years yet is it's just been really incredible. So very grateful just to be able to plug into this championship team that you guys have already been building, and continuing to build day in and day out. But yeah, like Nick said again, my name is David. I live in a suburb of Phoenix, Arizona. Got to escape my cold winters over the last year and a half. We moved from Minnesota, but Nick and I have known each other for, I think, almost 13 years now. Both of us in our early 20s got involved in another company that had to do with travel, and Nick was very successful in that, as well as a lot of people that I have gotten a chance to know through that company that have been very successful here at Legacy Life. And I guess I had a similar story maybe to some of them. We a lot of us had a lot of success in that company, and it went out of business during COVID. Before that, I had went to school to be a chiropractor. So Nick called me a doctor. I guess technically you can call that. Your chiropractor is doctor. I used to joke that is a real thing. It
Doctor,
counts. I
you're a
got the
doctor.
diploma to show it. So had got my doctorate in that. I graduated in 2015, and the business that Nick and I were a part of with a lot of other leaders, here still in Legacy Life, it just opened my eyes to a lot of things. I realized I didn't really want to run a brick and mortar business that I had to physically be at all of the time. There's a lot of pros to chiropractic from a health standpoint, and a lot of pros from a business standpoint too. But my mind had kind of expanded early on, while I was good amount through school, and I had realized I really would like the ability to run a business that wasn't stationary in one specific place. And I also really just fell in love with the idea, not only to be your own boss, but to be able to leverage a system, and leverage the ability to be a part of a team to kind of accomplish something more than yourself. Ones where you don't necessarily have to have this insanely large overhead, but still can build a very large organization, a large business, and just kind of get flexibility that's working both time and money freedom. And so a lot of us had bought into that dream early on. Maybe some of you are just starting to buy into that dream, but that's the same kind of thing that I immediately had seen as I was taking the industry of life insurance more of a serious look at. So had dabbled around doing some other sales things. Nick and some of the other leaders, Dan and Rachel and Dave, and just a lot. I don't want to leave certain names out, but there's a lot of people I had gotten a chance to become friends with, and know, and be kind of business associates with over the last decade. And I watched them all start to have a lot of success, like maybe to a T, almost every one of them potentially having more success within a first year or 2 years in the insurance business than they maybe had even had in other businesses, which a lot of these people I know were already very, very sharp and successful people. So after dabbling in swimming, I was really trying to just get it felt like a piece of me, a piece of my identity almost kind of was gone after this other business that we had poured so much of our time and energy and excitement and heart into. That as I was kind of finally coming to an understanding of, geez, we're gonna probably be making some sort of a career change. I just kind of fell in love the longer we looked into what the Alliance has, what is really being built here at Legacy Life. And so like Nick said, about a year ago, got officially licensed. I think it was about the end of January, and then kind of started getting going on a part-time basis those first few months, and just fell in love with all of the pros that are here. I mean, there's no business that's perfect, obviously, but really have enjoyed everything from this point. we started to have some success over the last year, or again, kind of closed into about a full year now, which is been exciting, just really excited where we can go from there. I certainly don't have all the answers, but I certainly know the people that do, and excited to continue to learn from them as all of us are on calls like this, and national convention and all kinds of ways to be able to plug into, like I said, a championship team. So Nick, not sure exactly what I can do to be of help tonight, but I'm just one of many people here on the team. Grateful to be a part of this winning culture, and excited to help tonight however I can.
Sweet. Well, and for those of you guys that, maybe you haven't been, keeping up with whatever the leaderboards and stuff like that, David's been on there pretty consistently, I'd say maybe like a month or 2 months after getting started with us. And so, and we have, people on here all across the country that want to win, that, quite frankly, we have people on here that if they made what you made in the last 11 months, okay, like that would be just you know what I mean? It'd be such a huge deal for them, their family. And they really want to make it work, and learn the business. So, if you can think back to when you first got started, did you have any sort of like mindsets or, I don't know, attitudes or commitments that you made to yourself or to Crystal, or, what did you do in those early days to, I guess, set yourself up, if anything, if there's anything that like just pops in your head, any sort of commitments or just anything like that, like, what did you do that maybe is different than what someone else might be doing because they want to get the results that you get?
Well, I guess even before making the decision to do it, two things that really stood out. Well, I guess three things that really stood out. We kind of talked already on this. I keep saying, referencing back to a team, but it is. I am very grateful that you guys already have a winning team. You have a system. You guys have already had success. You knew what to do. You've done it yourself. You're helping other people do it. So it gives you a lot more confidence for all of us, just knowing there is already a path that's laid forward. Like nothing. That's what I love. Like when I see Mike, continuing to just have insane amounts of success, and Nick, I have more respect for you than just about anybody on the planet. It's like I've just really enjoyed getting to learn from you and just watch your professionalism and your sincerity in wanting the team to be able to be successful as you continue to lead by example. But we have that system to plug into, so I really do appreciate that. Maybe some of you, if you haven't thought of it this way, the reason I really fell in love with life insurance, there was two things that stood out to me, and I guess that helped the mindset, because it was two things that I never had access to in any other business that we've been a part of. One, I loved the fact that any of us today, we could go sell a policy, and let's say it was $100 a month policy. I'm used to being a part of businesses where you sell something that's $100 a month, and maybe you make $5 or $10 or $20 a month off of that, which, there's nothing wrong with that. You can go, build big organizations. There's other different types of insurance that you can do things like that, build big organizations, be very successful. Life insurance, it didn't even seem real to me that you could go sell, a policy where you're only collecting, again, $50, $100, $200 a month, yet you can have hundreds of dollars deposited a couple days later into your bank account. I didn't know something like that existed. So, we have a vehicle where if you're trying to, make a difference and make a difference quickly. So if you have New Year's resolutions and you're looking to make an extra $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month, and you're wanting, to plug into something that could do that, like that's what we all have the ability to do quicker here than just about anywhere I've ever seen before. So I like the idea that, if you're looking to make a difference, it's not like you're going to have to go and sell hundreds of policies for your bank account to notice it. So that was one thing that really excited me. On top of the fact that there's still ways to make some residual and overrides and things like that. And then the other thing was, we all have a bunch of our own family and friends we obviously could talk to about this, improve our own situations with policies. But I have never been involved in something where you can just go and throw some money at some leads, have a pretty decent idea. Hey, if I spend this, I should make this. I should make, 2, 3, 5 times what I spend. The things that are already laid out, you can talk to people that have worked those same exact kind of leads, and they have it laid out. And hey, here's what we've seen. If you say this to this many people, this is what should happen. But you have this endless amount of people that you can go and talk to that already want to know about what it is that we have. They know they want life insurance, are curious about life insurance, want to look into life insurance, and they just need a licensed agent, aka us, to be the one to explain it to them and help them across the finish line, and then we get paid off of that. That blew my mind, where you don't have to spend insane amounts of time trying to find people that may be interested. The interested people are coming right to us, and for a matter of a few dollars, you can, you even systematize it down to, I'll go talk to this many people, spend this much, and make this much in a profit. So those were two things that just blew me away. I guess getting started from there, Nick. I don't know, my mindset wise. You guys have all this stuff very dialed in. I mean, from courses of showing what to do and everything else. I think it just comes down to staying consistent. I could be a lot more consistent even than what I have been, and I want to continue to get better. In those areas, but I guess just tracking what you're trying to accomplish. Holding yourself to a schedule. For those of you that haven't been self-employed, that maybe you haven't been self-employed your whole adult life, like Nick and I and some other people have. That is certainly a challenge, because you're your own boss. So that's great, but that also is the worst part about being self-employed sometimes. I sent Nick a video earlier today. My 2.5-year-old daughter came barging in and said, "Get you off work now," and just continued, don't work no more. You go to the park with me. And it's like, well, you can cave on that once in a while, but we can't cave on every single thing, the second something isn't going right. So just trying to stay consistent, keep, good boundaries, healthy boundaries to yourself of what you're trying to accomplish. And, try to find a schedule that works for you and, for your family, and then just try to stay consistent with it. I mean, those are things that are important in the beginning and still now.
Yeah, dude. And if Navy would have looked at me with those baby blues, I would have caved in 2 seconds. Um, yeah, dude, I think that's great. So trusting the system, just the business itself, and the fact that we have leads. And, I'll tell you guys this, and I think David and I probably share this idea, is like, when I first heard about life insurance, or I even thought about life insurance as a business, I figured it would be a little bit like real estate, where, if you're going to go get your real estate license right now, like, you just got to pound the pavement. You got to go network and like meet all these people and basically not make money for like 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? While you're building up referrals, while you're building up a network, and, trying to meet mortgage people that'll send you business and all this stuff. So it's like you kind of like eating peanut butter and jelly for 2 or 3 years, you know what I mean? Until you get a name out there for yourself. And I think we were talking about this the other day, where it's just like, it's kind of crazy to think about how many people on a daily basis are just straight up buying life insurance. Like, they are out there and they are buying life insurance. They're buying it from somebody. It's just, it's either you or it's somebody else. It's either us, or, odds are good it's somebody else, and odds are also good that it's not a very good agent. It's not looking out there for their best interest. So another thing I wanted to ask you, I right out the gate, I think we have a lot of people that they get started, they're following the system. And here's the good thing about life insurance is, just this as a business is, we can do final expense, we can do term, we can do ULs, we could do big whole life policies, we could do annuities, we could do IULs, we could do all these different things. And if I go back and look at your year in 2023, I mean, you really did all of those. And I think a lot of folks can get into just kind of stuck with, hey, they're just writing final expense, or they're scared to do annuities, or they're scared to talk about an IUL. So, as much as you want to share, you really did do everything. Like, you wrote annuities, you wrote IULs, you did term, you did whole life, you did final expense, you did, everything. Yeah, I mean, I guess just, what did you do to write the annuities? What did you do to write the IULs? Or like, how did those conversations come about? Was it natural? Like, how did you write pretty much everything that we have to write? You did a little bit of all of it.
Well, I mean, honestly, Nick, it's because of the help of just learning. You are very well knowledge, and I'm grateful for the time I've gotten to kind of learn from you and the resources you've kind of pointed us to, that everyone on the team has. But it's just learn. Like, I didn't really know anything about life insurance. Like, I kind of understood a few things, but like you said, there's so many different avenues that we can take, and it just depends what the situation for the person is, because most people, if they do have something, they're in a bad situation, or they're not in something that makes sense. Like, we all know, okay, if somebody is looking to get burial coverage, and maybe they have some health concerns and they're in their 70s, well, yeah, getting some final expense would make sense. but there's also there people out there, they have something that it's going to run out on them in 2 years. Well, that doesn't make any sense. So, we're at the same time, maybe there's people out there that are, my age, and they're sitting there, only buying, $10,000 of some, final expense kind of coverage or something. It doesn't make any sense. Somebody our age should have some sort of term in case something happens, especially if young kids, or, you're talking to somebody and they're just, retiring, and they're scared what's happening in the marketplace. Well, why would they have their money? Who knows what's going to happen, election year after election year, who knows what's going to happen in the stock market, when you could have something where you have a little more of a guarantee. Or you're talking to people and they want to have, they're self-employed, they want to have some sort of, ability to, like, cool, I have some life insurance, but really I just, I heard that you can use that for some tax-free money. And I just want to be able to, kind of build something extra that I'll have into retirement years. Like, there's all kinds of people out there. And what's funny is you don't even necessarily you're not necessarily even buying a lead off of those people. Like, the first annuity that I had, it was just a gentleman who, had a bad policy. I came across him, helped him with a different life insurance policy where we ended up getting him a little bit more coverage for about the same price. And then we found, and just continuing to talk to him, uncovered, oh my goodness, we have this extra money that was sitting here, and, it's losing these fees and this and that. And, he had a son that, had gotten really sick and, required his full-time care, and he needed to make sure he had some money left over for him, and he needed to protect that. Didn't even mean to have that happen, but it was just, again, plugging into, understanding what to ask, when to ask it, and just being open-minded. Nick, one of the first things I remember you had shared with me that, really had my heart excited for life insurance, because I didn't know what to expect. I thought it might be boring, and I've had fun with it because you get to kind of problem solve it. The chiropractor in me that, went to school for that, I kind of like this because I feel like it's a patient coming in, and we get to kind of diagnose the problem, figure out how we can help with a solution, and, put this treatment plan together. And, that really is, what we're all able to go do and help you. But I remember you, very, very early on, day one, saying, look, just, you're going in trying to make a friend, see if you can help the person, see if you can improve their situation. And, when you just listen to why they're looking for coverage, what they need the protection for, it kind of opens up a variety of different, things that kind of lead from there. So, just don't be scared to try to figure out what's best for the client. There's been many times that I would have felt more comfortable just writing with XYZ carrier because I knew exactly what to do, but it wasn't going to be the best thing for the client. So instead, I had to get a little more uncomfortable, and that's still happening to me a year later of, adding on some more carriers, and, oh, because they have this situation with this company, and, this type of insurance is going to make the most sense. And that's what we have. I mean, we're not stuck captive to one thing, and shoving the square peg in the round hole. So we get to utilize, all of the resources we have, being a part of Legacy Life.
Yeah, for sure. I have I agree with you. Like, add new companies, getting out of your comfort zone. I have one of those going right now, and it's an annuity with a company. I've never written annuities, but it's a type of annuity that I've only written one time. And the owner of the annuity is this lady, but really it's a trust. Okay, and, like, I've never done any of these things. So it's easy to get, kind of, I guess, we all don't want, you want to expand your horizons as much as you can, being a part of the business. You've done a really good job with that. And
Can I pause you right there for a
yeah,
second? Um, we don't have to, like, speak exact numbers or anything, but Nick made a lot more than the average American makes. We'll put it that way. Very, very successful year. And, like your record growth for the team, very well deserved for somebody like Nick. It made a very, very healthy income. If you're talking something that I did in the first year, people would be excited about. A lot of people would be falling out of their chair if they saw, some of the numbers that were, hitting your account, well deserved. But did you catch that? Like, even he still is feeling uncomfortable. It isn't all perfect, and that's what gives me so much hope. Like, you don't have to know everything and be perfect about it to go and have, really great success. Or you could, you have a rough idea what's going on, but it doesn't have to be just absolutely perfect dialed in. Like that's it's kind of crazy to me to think, like, where I think of you in insurance, and you still feel that way even with the success you've already had.
yeah, it was it was interesting. You just gotta get your way through it. Especially the trust part. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm expecting tons of, pending requirements to come back on that. But we'll see. Uh, and here's what I want to. I really like what you said. You said it's kind of like diagnosing somebody and problem solving, and I think we all kind of run into this. And if you're new, you'll kind of see as you get further on in the business that just the more people you sit down with, the more like there's diagnosing problems. And there's a problem not to have life insurance, and that's a common problem. People don't have life insurance. But then there's also the problem where people have bad policies, and so David, just like all of us, he's gone through or he's seen a lot of bad policies out there, and help these people get into something better. And just to give people, and I think let's talk about this for a few minutes, and then let's maybe go through like what a conversation might be when you're chatting with somebody. Just give them some of the specifics, because I feel like you've also done a really good job of dialing in the specific, like if they say this, I say this. And if they, like you've done a really, really good job of that. So I'd like to share some of that with people. But what do you have any specific examples that you can think of just like, hey, this guy just recently this week had X policy. I talked to him. Here's why that one sucked. Here's what I ended up getting him. I went him with this company and this product or whatever. And even if it's kind of outside of what people are used to writing or thinking about or talk about it. You know what I mean? Like let's tell them what you're doing and what's out there if you have any examples.
Yeah. And again, like it really is our strength. Like in the beginning, I've come around on this a lot more the last 6 months than I did the first 6 months. But it really is our strength, and it's almost easier when somebody does have a policy because they already value paying for life insurance. They already see the importance that they want this for their family for whatever reason, and almost every policy you can find pros and cons too. So, again, if they're in something that's way better than anything else, well, then leave it alone. In fact, I remember earning business from somebody because I took the time to help the lady figure out what she had. And at the end, I was like, this is better than anything else you're going to get with where your health is and currently. Like, don't let anybody tell you to get rid of this. And she was so grateful for that. She went and referred her husband to me, and then tried to have two other ladies from church to see if I could help out on that. So it's like, do right by the client again. But again, just by going in and caring, like it is crazy how many things are just overpriced. Like I did just come across one, even think of a company, for example, Mutual of Omaha. If you're looking for some sort of a permanent coverage, you could do the IULE, which would be kind of like your best bang for your buck permanent coverage. And then you could do their Living Promise, which is not as good of a health. Technically, it'd be a whole life, so it has a longer guarantee. That'd be the pro to it, but pricier per dollar. And somebody had they had no health issues whatsoever, and they had like the equivalent to a Living Promise when they could have had qualified for an IULE. So, for example, let's say they had $15,000 of Living Promise, but you could have got 25,000 of an IULE for basically the exact same price. And so, just helping people realize that, and maybe the person that got them started from there, maybe they just didn't know any better. I've come across that even of people, they'll have universal life kind of policies, and they're set up at like the minimum, instead of what actually should be set up where it's best for the client. Now, maybe that agent, was going to get paid the same whether they set it at the minimum or they set it at a place where it's not going to run out on them too soon. But that agent didn't care. They were just trying to make a commission, make it sound the best they could. And then here, this poor client thinks they have coverage that's going to be good their whole life, and it's only guaranteed till they're 81 when they thought it was going to be good their whole life. So just coming in and like caring and figuring out those kind of things, or just taking enough time to talk and go, oh, wait a minute, you have this policy because you had this condition. And, we look at our resources tab and you realize, wait, that condition, this company, it's not a big deal to. Well, look, now I just went and saved the X number of dollars because of that. So it's just caring and paying attention. Well, what do they have? Or they think, they always assume they have way better, Nick. I don't think I've ever once seen a client, I think I have 200,000. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. No, I don't. It's 400,000. It's no, I think I have 200,000. Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't. It's 20,000. So it's like, just taking the extra time to care, to help them double check and make sure there is no surprises. More times than not, uncovers we can do something to help improve their situation.
So are you calling the companies with the client? Like, are you calling them and if they got someone, you sit down with someone or you're on the phone with somebody and they've got a UL and hey, I think it's good. I got 100,000 and it's $100 a month. Like, I know maybe we beat a dead horse with this, but you and I know, a lot of us know, like how much of our premium comes from some other crappy agent doing some crappy business. You know what I mean? And the amateurs out there, they hear, oh, I've got this UL, oh, they've got 100,000, they're paying $100 a month. Well, the amateurs out there just say, oh, okay, no, that looks good. It sounds awesome. You know what I mean? Like, hey, that's pretty great. And then they, oh, well, how about another 50,000? You know what I mean? They're trying to add more policies on top of that. And so if someone has a policy, like what are you actually doing? Like, are you, looking at the paperwork? Are you calling the company? Like, what does that process look like for you? And, I know a lot of a lot of what you're doing is over the phone. A lot of other people, it's in the home. Let me just tell you guys this. If you're doing this and you're in a home, it's 100 times easier. Okay. It's extremely easy. Just, I'll go grab that policy. You know what I mean? Like, go grab it. Oh, I don't have it. All right, well, let's call them real quick. And you just don't move forward with the appointment unless you hang out and call the insurance company and what do they have and whatever, you get the details. So, what are you doing if you suspect, or maybe even if you don't, like, what do you do when someone has a policy and you think it sucks?
And I wanted to fight that. Like my natural instinct was, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this, or I'm new, I don't want to sound silly and not know what I'm talking about, or oh my gosh, they go pull the policy out and I don't even know what I'm looking at. But it's just as easy to have somebody on the phone and go, all right, so I'm reading this, and then the person on the other side of the phone is going, all right, look for this. What's this say? What's this say? What's this say? Or you call in and you're talking to a customer service person that's more scared to be talking to you than you are to them. Like, once you realize that, and you just like allow yourself to be in the authoritative role, try to double check it and call it. So yeah, I mean, that turned a corner of earning more, selling more policies for sure, by taking the extra step. And again, good or bad, the client appreciates that too, because they don't have a clue how to do that. Like, if you're scared to do that, imagine them trying to call in by themselves and figure this out, or stare at the 52-page document that they got that they don't understand two words on. So just taking the time to do that absolutely will help you uncover it, and you can figure out some of the things to ask and not to ask, but just basic stuff of understanding what company it's with. Well, how long ago did they get it? About how much are they paying? What do they think the coverage was for? And then depending on what kind of policy it is, you could start to look into a couple other things. But once you kind of think some of that stuff through, you don't have to ask too many questions. You can uncover some pretty crazy things that they thought they had this and instead it was this.
If you ever want to have your client just start cursing out loud, call their current life insurance coverage and ask all the right questions, because it'll happen. We've got one we'll have to share with you guys, or David shared it with me, where he calls Primerica, and the lady thought it was whole life. Primerica doesn't even sell whole life. And here's the thing is, like, if you're sitting down with somebody, you're on the phone with somebody, and they think they have something, like, no one wants to, oh, well, they don't sell whole life, so you're wrong, and we got to get you out of that, and blah, 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 blah. Like, hey, let's just call the company. Let's just hear it from the horse's mouth. And it's exactly what David does, and he's got it recorded. And I don't remember what that lady said, but she was pissed, like, just straight up pissed. It was like the best call ever, because she calls Primerica and she's like, and David's on there asking, like, he's being all nice too. He's like, hey, so what does the price go up to after that? Because Primerica has really expensive term. When it renews, the prices go out of this world, and people don't know, so they're pissed when they find out. And he's asking, okay, so what does the price go to after that? Oh, $367. And he goes, per month? And the lady's like, yeah, per month. The lady's like, oh no, we are not doing that. Like, and then he's like, okay, what does it go to a year after that? And it keeps going up. It's a great call. So yeah, you've done a really good job with that. And then, and I don't want to keep everybody on here, all night, but I want you've done a really, really good job with, just dialing in what you say to people and what you're going after when you're talking with somebody. So let's say, I'm a lead. I filled out some form somewhere, and we're having a conversation. Like, what are you going through? And, like, what in your head, like, what are the boxes that need to be checked? You know what I mean? If it's boxes, like, what's your process of having a conversation with somebody, about life insurance, and, whether they already have coverage, don't have coverage, like, just whatever, like, what's that process for you right now?
Well, I don't think it's really any different than what probably everyone is doing or been taught through these courses and everything else too. But in general, think of I guess four things. So why this is important to them, why they're looking into it, what they want the coverage for, who it's there to protect, just in general, what is the emotional connection of why this is important to them. That's probably number one most important to know. Second most important, know exactly what do they have for coverage. And again, what's the company name? How much coverage do they have? How long ago did they get it? What are they paying now? All of that can just be used for ammo for you, so you know what's going on from there. Is it a work policy? Are they paying for it? So know what coverage. Or maybe they don't have coverage. It's like, okay, what have they been doing to protect themselves in case something crazy happens. Do they have money in savings? Do they got retirement money? Do they got money buried under the mattress? Like what it has been the plan, and then maybe trying to figure out how long they've been looking. So if they, whatever our lead is, now we're sitting in a home with them. Well, have they been looking for 6 years? Have they talked to 10 other people? How far did they get in the process? Where did they go wrong with the last agent? Or maybe we'll uncover, oh, I was looking and I got denied at this company. Well, now we know not to use that company. So having some sort of idea, is this the first time they've ever been looking for life insurance? Why is I just had a gentleman earlier today. I was asking how long you've been looking, and I finally uncovered when he was just kind of acting like he was kind of interested. Might not be interested for a few months. Well, we start talking a little bit longer, and then it finally comes out. Oh well, I filled this form out because my ex-wife passed away a month ago, and she was only 40 years old and passed away. And it's like, there you go. And see, like people don't just fill our, all these different forms out, virtual forms, direct mail forms. They don't just fill it out, for the fun of it. I maybe like 5% of the people do, but most of the people there's some sort of reason that they did it. But understanding, so why did they fill the form out? What do they have in place? What's the plan currently? How long have they been looking? And I think if you're going to add a fourth thing, the helpful thing is just, so what is your plan B? Scratch taking care of everything that you just said was important to you. What happens if we don't set any of that up? Then what do you do? And like I had another person today, I asked it in a nice way, kind of like that. And I was like, well, we're gonna have to sell everything. They're basically just verbalizing out loud, like, we're in big trouble if we don't do something. I think just having them understand that, like, plan B is not an option. And sometimes they're why they won't give you anything good enough, and it's everyone will be fine. It's like, okay, maybe you're not as serious person, but usually it's going to work to your favor of them agreeing and just re-solidifying why it is important to get.
So I want you guys to hear this. So like digging in and finding the why. Okay, like we all know that that's important. We probably talk about it on every freaking call, but life insurance is an emotional buy. Everything out there is an emotional buy. Life insurance is especially an emotional buy. And so you got to get to why. And the other things that you do really, really good, and I think that everyone should take note, and you just said it, is what do they have exactly? Like a lot of times it's like, oh, well, do you already have some coverage? Oh, yeah, I got some stuff. Okay, well, what do you have? Oh, I don't know. And then you just move on with the appointment. Like it is really, really important to find out what do they exactly have, because they're paying premiums on policies already. They're, and we can pick up that premium if those policies suck. We already kind of talked about that. But asking that, having that in your head of like, I'm really not going to move forward. I remember the first time I was in somebody's house and Hutch told me, like, don't continue the appointment unless you go over what they have. And it was actually, in hindsight, it was probably like a really weird, awkward situation, but like, they wouldn't go get their policies. And I was just like, listen, if I don't know what you have, I don't know if it's good. I can't really, in good faith, like try to get you something else if I don't know what you have. Like getting something else might not even be in your best interest. And so, if we can't see what you already have, like I'm not going to move forward. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we're not getting our policies. So I was like, all right, see ya, like it was weird. I think having that mindset, so if you're on this call, like, okay, what can I do to increase my closing ratios? Like, get the why, find out why they figured out, get to that emotional side of things. What do they have exactly? And I really like that question. And I'm really glad you touched on it, because I think a lot of people are afraid to ask, like, hey, what's your plan B? Like if we don't set this up, if you don't get life insurance, like what is your plan B? What does it look like? And the reason we're afraid to ask that question is we're afraid the client's going to say, oh, everything will be fine. Nah, they'll figure it out. The kids will be okay. Like we're afraid of that. And I think you probably asked that specific question, really better than anybody. And the other one that you mentioned in there is how long have they been looking? Because there's a lot of times, you guys, where people are out there shopping for life insurance, and you'll get a pretty good asking that question will inform the direction you take everything really, really well. Like, oh, well, I got this, I've been looking for a while. I got this Colonial Pan. I got this one. I got declined by these guys. Oh, okay. Something to do with my heart. You know what I mean? Like these things will just inform your decisions, as far as helping these folks. And so that's some really good stuff. And yeah, man, you're killing it. Like you've had a solid 2023. I know that 2024 is going to be even bigger, even better. Like you've got people on the call here tonight that you're bringing with you. You're bringing people with you to national convention. And I'm just excited for where quite frankly, I'm excited for everything's going. I'm excited to be building all the things that you and I are building, maybe behind the scenes a little bit, for the team. And like I'm just fired up. So I'm gonna let you just close it out. Say whatever you want to say, but I'm excited to what we've done so far. Like we've done good. I'm excited for 2024. 10x, 10 times more excited than I was for 2023, and I feel like we're just getting started here. So appreciate you for being on the call, and any closing thoughts, closing remarks, whatever. You've got a crowd on here, so give them the goods, Dr. David.
Well, again, Nick, I really appreciate everything you guys have already started to build, and just I don't know if co-creating is the right word, but just there's just so much opportunity here that I'm really excited, and I am very just grateful to be one of many people getting to plug into this winning team, and the successful culture you guys have done such a great job of creating. So again, thank you. And I would just say, I guess, for everybody here, again, just kind of map out. I mean, it's crazy. What is it, January 8th? I mean, think how many people have already given up on whatever dreams they started to have, of goals that they wanted to start working towards and accomplish. Like think how many people already stopped going to the gym. And the nice thing is, like, even if that fits us in our feeling of we've already given up on something that or we haven't taken as serious 8 days in of something that we wanted to, like, we can still course correct. It's not too late. We're not blinking right now and it's November and we go, crud, we let 2024 get away from us. And so I'm just grateful. I like that feeling of it's a new year. You get to restart. It doesn't matter how good or how bad last month or last year or the last 10 years were. Just that there really is opportunity, and just there's so much to learn with this business, which all of us are continuing to kind of get fire hosed with all kinds of stuff and just trying to figure out what to do in so many different situations. But again, you don't have to know everything about every detail to go and have success. You have to take some action. But at the same time, I learned that years ago, like, it's not just taking action either. Like, if you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, that's not the end of the world. But if you're also not going to utilize any sort of help, and you're not going to plug into trying to get better yourself, well, then you're just going to walk in circles over and over and over again. Like, it doesn't matter if you go into 100 homes and you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, and you don't ask for any help at all, and you screw up making the same mistake 100 times in a row. Well, that's not very good. But at the same time, you don't want to study so you're never going to make a mistake again. And you could have sat in 100 homes and you've only sat in 2 homes because you're trying to get so perfect. So, like, I guess just that'd be my advice. Don't make it the mistake of trying to only do action and not learn at all, not utilize the help. I mean, it's crazy to me how well of a system this business has and this team has, from just people being willing to help. Just you're a part of Legacy Life, so people are willing to help. I've been so grateful for people I don't even financially benefit. They've been willing to help me. To group chats that are just at a moment's notice and a fingertip away from finding out an answer you don't want it to do. You take a screenshot of something, you don't know what to do with something, and you you post it. So you don't have to know everything. But plug into the system and then continue to be a student and learn. But at the same time, make sure you're taking action. These calls are great to jump on and go into national convention. I'm really excited for. But like, if you just go to all the trainings and you never do any work, well, that's not going to help anybody get to Cabo. So you're gonna have to put action in, but you're also going to have to take it serious. Like I spent 8 years and like 250 grand in student loans to get a degree I didn't even use. Most of us here spent what, $200-300 to get started. You go get licensed in a dozen states. You're in what do you spend? Maybe a couple $1,000s a month in leads at most. I mean, think how many leads you could buy to equal a chiropractic degree. And you go work even a fraction of those leads, it can turn out in an unbelievable business that you can grow all across the country. So the opportunities here, it's just whether we take the time and effort to continue to perfect our craft and consistently put that work in. So I would just say put one foot in front of the other. It's going to take learning, but it's also going to take action combined together. So I really appreciate you having me on, Nick. Look forward to meeting everybody in Dallas, and God bless everyone. Thanks for jumping on. Excited for this year.
Heck yeah. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for being on, man. And yeah, guys, I mean, that's a ton of really good stuff. We'll get all this, we'll get the recordings up. We're going to do some different stuff this year. Beep, beep, beep. Geez, there we go. Maybe not. I don't know. Hopefully that works. Okay. Anyways, I might be small for y'all. But yeah, so great call. Really appreciate you, David. Thanks for hopping on. You're kicking butt day in, day out, putting in policies just about every single day. And oh, this is gonna bug me now. Whatever. So NatCon, so we have national convention at the end of this month, the 26th through the 28th. And some of you guys, like a bunch of you guys, are already committed. Hey, I'm going, I'm making this happen. All about it. Some of you guys have been on the fence. Some of you guys are trying to figure stuff out. Here's the beautiful thing about this business is you can go write a policy today. You can write 2, 3, 4, 5 policies this week and just pay for the whole thing and then some. Okay, so it's not like you're stuck. Your financial situation right now, if money might be the thing that's holding you back, that's fine. But the beautiful thing about this business is we have a way where you can make a lot of money really quickly. Okay, you can make $5 grand a week, and it's extremely doable here. So figure it out. There's still discount tickets floating around. I think the full price tickets are up on the website right now. So ask around. We've got tickets floating around. We've got people that are going that just picked up tickets today, a bunch of them. So NatCon is going to be awesome. It's just going to be a ton of fun. Like the best thing that I love about the events is just being around everybody, everybody being able to hear the stories and being able to see the growth, see where we're at. And to give you guys an idea, like we're putting together like our top 10, legacy life top 10. Okay. And we're doing that on Friday at NatCon. A bunch of you guys are invited to that. And so we're doing our legacy life top 10. And I went and looked because I was just curious, like what were the numbers last year? Okay. And I will tell you, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but here's what gets me excited is, if you did the same thing in 2023, or excuse me, in 2022 that you did in 2023, okay, odds are good you probably weren't in the top 10. Okay, like we are growing, the business is growing, we've got more people making more money. And I kind of say this for a lot of folks, but like my goal for everybody brand new is like you make more money here with us than you've made anywhere else before. And we are absolutely working towards that in a really big way. And so come be a part, come join, plug in. Like we're here to help you. We're here to build a championship team and to go win some damn championships. So that's what we're going to do. We'll see you guys all in Dallas at NatCon, and we're going to do we're going to get we took a little bit of a break on these Monday calls. We're getting back at it. So next Monday we've got another call, and we'll get you all the details for that. So David, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for hopping on, and Legacy Life, love you all.